a Postecoglou era and a post-Kane era. The game against Brentford last week was a real kind of sighter for Spurs. This is the first really big test, and the atmosphere on this lovely, warm, sultry summer evening in N17 is really bubbling. Let's bring you the two lineups. Spurs make two changes from Brentford. Guillermo Vicario in goal, a back four of Pedro Porro, Christian Romero, Mickey van der Ven and Destiny Udogie. In midfield, Pape Sarr and Yves Bissouma sitting with James Maddison ahead of them. Heung-min Son and Dejan Kulusevski with Richarlison up front. Manchester United unchanged from the victory against Wolves. Andre Onana, the new signing in goal. Back four of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Lisandro Martinez, Rafael Varane and Luke Shaw. Casemiro sitting in front, and then Antony, Alejandro Garnacho, Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount playing behind Marcus Rashford as the main striker. On the bench of Spurs, Fraser Forster, Oliver Skipp, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Davinson Sanchez, Emerson Royal, Ivan Perisic, Giovanni Lo Celso, Manor Solomon and Ben Davies. And for Manchester United, Dean Henderson and Radek Vitek are the goalkeepers. Victor Lindelof, Anthony Martial, Christian Eriksen, Diego Dalot, Jadon Sanchez, Fernando Pelestri and Scott McTominay. Bradley Allen's alongside me. Feels like a big occasion this, doesn't it?
Yeah, certainly does, Nick. Fantastic to be here. Wonderful welcome for the new Tottenham Hotspur manager and this newer group of players. The fans are in good voice, and I sense some optimism within the crowd.
Well, I have to say, rarely has the South Stand sounded in better voice. This is BBC Radio London, and Tottenham Hotspur in all white. Against Manchester United in red shirts, black shorts and black socks. I think we're all ready, and we are underway in North London with Tottenham attacking from right to left as we look at things. And there's an early touch from Vicario, away to our right, who gathers it very comfortably. This stadium is seething with noise. Let's see if the football can match the fantastic atmosphere that greeted the players and new manager Ange Postecoglou when they made their way out, and in the last few moments here in a very sunny North London. Spurs playing out from the back. It's with Romero, who had that bang on the head against Brentford. He's okay. Here's Porro, and then it's steered wide to Kulusevski, right-hand side. Tottenham on the attack. Richarlison in the penalty area. Kulusevski floats this towards Son on the volley. He's miscued it. It's gone sideways, and it's hacked away by Shaw towards the halfway line. First attack in anger from Tottenham Hotspur. Somehow, some miscued it. Bradley Allen.
Lovely play out from the back, and Spurs down the right-hand side. Far post cross. Son came in. It was the incorrect volley connection, but almost an amazing start, minute on the clock.
And that really would have lifted the roof off the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium had that one gone in. Foul on halfway on James Maddison. It's taken quickly by Destiny Udogie, and he goes back to Van der Ven, and now Vicario away to our right. The sun's just gone in. It's just cooled the stadium a fraction. The whole of the far side was baking in sunshine when the players came out. Yeah, the temperature drops a fraction. It's still warm and muggy in this part of town. Back with Vicario once again. Rashford and Fernandes come to press that Spurs back four as they play out from the back. Here's Van der Ven. It does look as though Bissouma is just going to sit in front. Oh, there's a mistake by Porro, who's given it to Manchester United on that left-hand side, and swept over the top by Antony from the edge of the penalty area. Well, we've seen both sides of Spurs there, haven't we? Coming forward looking positive, and then Porro pressed into a mistake on the edge of his own box.
Yeah, a crossfield pass. Man United jumped and pressed the ball. Garnacho set Antony, who's just inside the edge of the box. He tried to sweep his effort with his left foot, but he was just underneath the attempt, and it went up and over the Spurs crossbar.
Tottenham again trying to play out from the back. Here's Van de Ven just outside the penalty area. Bissouma is able to turn. It's faced by Fernandez inside his own half. Get it wide to Son on the left, and it is definitely Richarlison through the middle. Wan-Bissaka's gone through Son there. It's a free kick to Tottenham inside their own half, and the Tottenham captain has stayed down. Just sitting up now and looking a bit...
Yeah, just winded a little bit, the Spurs captain. I think Spurs can take confidence from reviewing and preparing themselves for this game, seeing Manchester United and the success Wolves had through the central part of the pitch, certainly in midfield. Kuno was outstanding on the night, picking the ball up, playing through spaces, driving through gaps. Whether Bissouma, Maddison can link and connect, and offer that for Spurs. That may well be part of the game plan here this evening.
Doji's unable to stop that going out of play. It's a throw-in on this near side. Wan-Bissaka, who made the move from Crystal Palace back in 2019, Croydon-born. As Maddison sweeps this wide, Kulusevski is the target once again on that side. And Luke Shaw was a bit stronger than Kulusevski there, just bumped him off the ball, and then it's turned forward by Mason Mount and wide on that left-hand side to Garnacho, who's going to run at the edge of the penalty area, cutting in field, shoots low, and it's gathered easily by Vicario. Well, it's not been cagey so far, has it, Bradley? I've got to say, with 4 minutes gone at 0-0.
And I would think as well, both sets of attacking players that have been selected tonight will be going into this future, fixture thinking, if we can get served with the ball with enough quality, we can certainly create and possibly get on the scoreboard.
Here is first touch, I think, so far for Pape Sarr on the far side of the field. In for Skip, sends it cannoning off Mount for a throw-in. Very peculiar seeing Mason Mount in a Manchester United shirt, Bradley. That is going to take some time to get used to, I'm fairly certain. It's a throw-in on the far side, which Porro's going to take, and Spurs have largely actually played these opening 5 minutes inside their own half of the field. They've not looked in real trouble, but not much of the game currently being played in the United half. That may change now as Van de Ven, the new signing as centre-half, collects and finds Destiny Udogie on the left. He's going to try and take on Anthony. Anthony's assiduous in keeping at him, and Udogie does cross the halfway line, but it goes out for a Manchester United throw in front of Erik ten Hag's technical area. Now Wan-Bissaka's going to take it, and
well, you mentioned, Nick, didn't you, the Manchester United fullback, and I think he deserves a little bit of credit. He stuck at it.
Bear with us a second. Oh no, I thought they were going to come to us for an update, Bradley, but you do carry on. Well, hang on, we'll do that in a second, because I think there's work to do here for Porro as he stabs his forward. Cleared away by Varane, collected in a central position by Porro, and he then loses possession, and Romero has to come across to deal with Garnacho, who makes progress down that side of the field for Manchester United. There's a good block challenge by Romero, and it's collected on that touchline by Martinez, and then there's a stoppage because Bruno Fernandes is down clutching his face. So Bradley, you were going to talk about Wan-Bissaka, I think.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he's had his critics in some quarters and inconsistency in these earlier games and performance for Manchester United at the start of his career at Old Trafford, but I think he's sort of worked very, very hard to grow through that. He's a solid, dependable 1v1 defender, but as you say, Fernandes getting some treatment there. Porro inside, Udogie infield. We're going to see quite a bit of that, I think, from Spurs this season with these full-backs. I spoke about that before the start of the game. And Spurs trying to overload central areas, so the actual width then is then going to then probably only come for the Spurs wingers in Kulusevski and Son this evening.
Well, there's no rapid return to an upright position for Bruno Fernandes. He's sitting up now while he's being treated. The challenge was from Porro, and they both went for it as a 50-50, and I think Porro might have caught Fernandes on the foot.
Yeah.
He's shaking his head as he walks away. His shin pads come off. His sock is rolled down.
I don't know if that's a little bit of blood on his sock, actually. Maybe he's got a
gash, yeah. in which case they'll probably have to get some new socks.
Bit of a graze on that right shin.
He gets a avuncular pat on the bottom.
Just saying to the fourth official, maybe the challenge was a tad aggressive from Porro.
Well, they'll definitely add this on, Bradley. We'll be here all night.
Yeah,
that's. I can't wait for the officials' board at half-time and full-time. Like it goes to Onana, another new arrival at Manchester United. Wan-Bissaka, who you spoke about a bit earlier, did a brilliant job for Crystal Palace, and then has taken quite a bit of time to make himself at home at Old Trafford. Now Manchester United have it with Anthony, switches the play to the left-hand side. Garnacho running at the edge of the penalty area. He's got Mount ahead of him, overlapping his Shaw, and that is well dealt with in the end by Pedro Porro, who had to get that challenge absolutely right inside the Spurs box. It goes out for a corner.
Yeah, a misplaced pass from Van der Ven. Anthony pounced, and they switched the ball right to left-hand side diagonally. Manchester United very, very quickly. 2v1 on the outside, overlapping Shaw. But he just managed to time his challenge there, Porro, didn't he? He sort of lunged in, but he got something on the ball. United corner, first of the game.
It's well dealt with by the Tottenham right-back. Now, some rubbish is being thrown onto the pitch on that far side. I stress it is only bunched up bits of paper as this corner is swung out towards the header over the top from Rafael Varane. Was there a helping hand from Vicario?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, it was a looping header. It probably was going to clear the crossbar and land on the top of the net above the goal, but he took no chances.
Mason Mount's going to take this corner.
Just tipped it, helped it on its way. Follow-up corner here, Mount to take.
A paper aeroplane very nearly lands on his head. It's all good-natured until it isn't really, isn't it, with that stuff coming on the pitch? There's another paper aeroplane lands almost on halfway. Mount with the outswinger, headed over the top by Varane once again, and that one didn't need a help from the goalkeeper, and it's going to be a goal kick to Tottenham. We've had 9.5 minutes on BBC Radio London, and it is Tottenham Hotspur 0, Manchester United 0, and Spurs are playing out from the back again. Ball down the channel, it goes straight to Wan-Bissaka. Steered forward, looking for Rashford. He's been put on his backside, clipped over the top for Spurs. Son tries to get on the end of it, but Varane steers it back to Onana, who plays it well out to Wan-Bissaka on the half-one, and Onana really did change the way the game was going there as Rashford is offside. Free kick to Spurs just inside their own half, but that's what they brought Onana for, that ability to
brilliant
play football.
First time punch pass out. That's what he can do. Goalkeepers need to effectively be an outfield player with their feet now, Nick, in the modern game.
You're not a sweeper keeper, you're just a keeper, aren't you?
Yeah, they're pressing well, United, individually and collectively here. And Spurs are having just a little bit of difficulty, aren't they, feeding the ball into those midfield areas. United keep pinching the ball.
I don't think I've said Maddison yet, really. He's not had the ball inside Manchester United territory at all. This goes out for another throw-in on the near side. We've had 10 minutes. Wan-Bissaka, who is very, very quiet, apparently, inside that Manchester United dressing room. And it's funny, isn't it? You know, you can be as quiet as you like, but if you are a bit more outspoken, it does allow you to have more of a presence in the game. And by all accounts, once he got a bit more communicative in the dressing room, he was able to have more of a presence on the pitch as well. Here's Fernandes, who's got his shin pad back in and looks okay, with his socks rolled up. Back to Andre Onana it goes once again, inside his 6-yard box, and he left-footed lifts it forward. It's allowed to bounce by Romero, picked up by Van der Ven inside his own half of the field, making his home Premier League debut. The 22-year-old Dutchman cost £34 million from Wolfsburg. Very tall, but he's unable to get hold of that square pass by Romero. Out of play for a throw into Manchester United halfway inside the Spurs half of the field. Taken into the feet of Anthony. Now Wan-Bissaka once again. Anthony being pursued by Bissouma, and Bissouma's won it. And they try and feed Maddison. He has it taken away from him by Mount. We are going to update the situation on 94.9 FM very shortly. Manchester United with more intricate players, they come forward. Anthony guides it forward. Rashford driving a goal. It's a good save by Vicario. Headed away from the line by Romero. And Manchester United slice through Spurs there. They'll have the chance to clear it now with Bissouma. He's going to earn a foul against Fernandes, against Bruno Fernandes. But a first sight of goal for Manchester United's marksman Marcus Rashford, and Vicario advanced and blocked the shot.
Yeah, clever combination. Marcus Rashford took it off of Anthony into the right side of the box. Romero put the arm on the England striker, and it's a good right-handed save down to his right-hand side there as he made a barrier, Vicario. That would give him a bit of confidence. Spurs still in this one, 0-0.
Vicario, another new arrival from Empoli, cost £17.2 million. This is his home debut as well. And that was a good moment for him. Flicked on by Richarlison for Spurs. Haven't mentioned his name a great deal so far on the ball either. And it goes out of play on this near side. Come on, you Spurs, is the call around Spurs, the new White Hart Lane.
Proud and rightly so, home faithful responding. They now want to see Spurs have some control and affect the Manchester United half of the pitch.
Maddison had Anthony and Wan-Bissaka on him there, and he's conceded a throw-in, which Michael Oliver, our referee today, is allowing Manchester United to take. Wan-Bissaka has a moment to pause. Hasn't got that many options, and a good bit of skill by Fernandes allows him to play it down the right. Here goes Rashford once again, and Garnacho's making his way into the box if Rashford can find him. Here is Marcus Rashford skipping into the box. Wan-Bissaka on the overlap, cuts it back for a shot from Garnacho that flies up in the air, and it might drop to Fernandes, but Spurs have, more by luck than judgment, got this away, and now there's a counter-attacking chance. This is Dejan Kulusevski over the halfway line. Red shirts have got back in numbers, though there's not a huge number of options for him, with so many Manchester United players suddenly back behind the ball. And Van de Ven has it on the halfway line, and every Manchester United player is now back behind the ball. But United looking threatening when they come forward, Brad.
Yeah, very much so. Showed good discipline there, didn't they, on the recovery run? And there United go again.
Here we go. 15 minutes gone here. It's Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0, but Manchester United have had the better attacking moment so far. Vicario's been called into a stop from Rashford, but here comes Kulusevski for Spurs into the penalty area. Tries to go on the outside of his man, and it's bundled behind for Spurs' first corner. They've not created much, Tottenham, in these opening exchanges in the final third of the field. Richarlison and Maddison starved the possession. Manchester United have looked pretty good going forward, and Rashford's drawn the first save from Vicario. It was a good right hand from the Spurs home debutant to turn away the England striker's effort. We've had 15 minutes. It is Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. Maddison's going to take this corner for Spurs. They're first down the right-hand side. And they have got big units to send forward, haven't they? Romero's in the box. Udogi's in there as well. Van de Ven is very tall. Those are the options. This comes in looking for, well, two of them went for it at the same time. Sarr and I think Van de Ven both went for the header, and between them they've headed it over the top. And it's 0-0. But at the moment, Bradley, we're seeing Manchester United do most of the attacking and Spurs on the counter-attack. Yeah,
Spurs moments, but only really counter-attack. Spurs haven't really perhaps regained the ball to have enough possession yet. And United, 16 minutes in, are having slightly more of it.
I thought they'd given it away to Richarlison, Manchester United, but they hadn't. Here's Mount with a long angle ball forward, looking for Rashford, cut out by Romero. Here's Bissouma and Sarr and Porro, and Tottenham looking comfortable in possession inside their own half, but it is all still inside their own half when Spurs have possession. Maddison gets it wide. Porro's going to release Kulusevski down the right once again. This could be trouble for Manchester United. Kulusevski skips into the box and earns another corner off the heels of the defender coming back, Garnacho.
Well, he's escaped and got away down that right-hand side quite well with some double movement. Clever from Kulusevski. Perhaps just the final ball, Nick, at the moment. Bit of a reluctance to maybe use his weaker right foot to deliver around the back of the United defence. But Maddison, who assisted with that free kick at Brentford last week for Spurs, his first goal in the Premier League this season, is going to take a second corner here on that right-hand side.
Here is the outswinger. It looks for Udogie, but it's headed away as far as Son on this near side. He's going to recycle it. Porro just on the edge of the centre circle. Spurs starting to draw men back, including Van de Ven, who's now taken up a position on the halfway line. Bissouma and Porro and Van de Ven combine inside the centre circle. Manchester United with everyone behind the ball once again. Garnacho trying to put pressure on Romero here. He's got it out wide to Kulusevski, who's looked the most lively of the attacking players for Spurs so far, but there's no way through for him this time. He goes back to halfway, and Romero. A whole host of white shirts in front of him, but a whole host of red shirts as well. Porro tries to make a dash down the right, doesn't receive the ball. And they found Van de Ven in a little bit of space on the halfway line. 0-0 between Spurs and Manchester United here on BBC Radio London, with Nick Godwin and Bradley Allen in the commentary box. Here's Bissouma, turns away from traffic and charges forward. Has he been caught there by Fernandez? He has, and this is a free kick for Spurs. Down the left, about 10 yards in from the touchline and 30 yards from goal. Yeah, positive turn and drive. I think we've seen that in the early days of this Premier League season from Bissouma. Certainly playing confident. If he can bring that to Spurs midfield and then feed the attacking players in front of him, I think that'll really help Spurs in the final third in key games. Maddison to take this free kick. Good position. Yeah, a right-footed delivery. This will swing in, or it almost drops onto the head of Van de Ven, but it's headed away. Maddison gets to the loose ball first and finds Heung-min Son on the left-hand side. Oh, and then he tries to play Maddison in, and Maddison goes down under a challenge from Garnacho. And Maddison's point is he would have got to that pass had Garnacho not held him up. It was miles off the ball was the problem, and Michael Oliver's not interested. It's a goal kick to the visitors, the Red Devils, away to our left. And they play it short, as is the style, with Onana in goal, and it goes out to Wan-Bissaka, who sends it down the channel. Anthony the target, well watched by Udogie, who gets the challenge in on halfway. And Postecoglou with a few words of advice down there for his new left-back. There's Wan-Bissaka, being pressed into a bit of trouble by Son. And then is this going to drop to Maddison? No, Manchester United just managed to keep that away from the white shirts inside Manchester United's half of the field. Spurs have won it back. Yeah, they're growing into this one, Nick, aren't they? Nearly 20 minutes on the clock. They're just starting to sort of gain some confidence where, you know, the first player closest to the ball is just getting a fraction tighter to the Manchester United opponent, but the support's good. But a turnover here. Well, Udogie's managed to win it back, but he's fouled. I think Anthony, he lost his footing a little bit, didn't he? And he turned straight into Anthony, and Casemiro pounced as well. Yeah, Casemiro standing over this free kick, but I think he'll leave it for Bruno Fernandes. Manchester United player makes his way further forward. They played this short and quick to Rashford, who drives in a shot from a tight angle that's blocked by Van de Ven. Manchester United have earned their third corner of the game down their right. Clever movement, wasn't it? Really sharp from Marcus Rashford, fed by Fernandes, quickly taken free kick. Another corner for the visitors. Another bit of rubbish is chucked to Fernandes. He catches it and tosses it aside. Right-footed out swinger. Varane to make a late run. He moves towards the near post now, and this is headed away at the near post by Udogie, collected by Anthony. He can't get hold of it, and then this is clipped clear, looking for Kulusevski. Onana is on the halfway line, so far out of his goal, and he's played a delightful ball down the left. He's Garnacho offside, but he's touched it. Game continues. Low cross coming in, cleared by Van de Ven. Still the assistant referee doesn't raise his flag on the near side, so we can only assume that Garnacho was onside. It's a fabulous pass by the goalkeeper again, Bradley. Yeah, wonderful distribution. Oh, he's on. Yeah, maybe Romero just dropped a bit early then. Big diagonal, wasn't it? Lovely ball striking technique from Onana to set Garnacho away. Just couldn't pick out a United attacker in the penalty box there on the cross. You know, these centre-halves, these ball-playing centre-halves you get, Bradley, you won't need one of them anymore if your goalkeeper can do that. Don't need any passing from your number sixes. Just put your laces through or give it to the goalie. Van de Ven has it on the edge of his penalty area, clips it to the near side. Udogie is faced by Casemiro. There's a proper battle between those two. Goes out of play for a Spurs throw. Yeah, he held off his opponent well there, didn't he? Just tried to wriggle out. He was quite tight to the near touchline in his left-back position, Udogie. Richarlison comes deep, dispossessed. Maddison in the thick of it, manages to take it away. And now Richarlison can move over the halfway line, or can he? Mount and Wan-Bissaka between them are taking it away. And then Fernandes has spread the play to the left-hand side. Is Garnacho. Players herring forward. With Shaw on the overlap, comes back to Fernandes, who clips in across. Rashford's free, and that's over the top. I wonder if there was a flag up anyway against him. He's
it's a sitter, isn't it?
With himself.
Outstanding Rabona cross when it come back to Fernandes, flipped him behind the Spurs defence. Definitely onside in the build-up to that United attack.
Yeah, and
Rashford maybe half a yard offside there.
It wouldn't have counted had it hit the target, but it was wasteful from the Manchester United striker. Back it goes to Onana once again. 23 minutes gone, still 0-0. Only really that Rashford chance saved by Vicario. As far as chances are concerned. But it does feel like Spurs are evolving, Bradley, doesn't it? It does feel like they're still working out how this is going to happen.
Yeah. And that's where I think patience is going to be crucial, really important with this Tottenham side across this season.
Here's Rashford just inside his own half. Swung wide by Mount to Garnacho on the left. Mount charging forward, Anthony as well. Shaw on the overlap. This is Shaw in a crossing position. Low cross deflected. Fernandes will get there first. It cannons off Michael Oliver. And it's cleared by Maddison, but it won't release Kulusevski this time.
Doing a lot of the ball, Nick, aren't they, Manchester United?
I think the Manchester United fans feel rather expectant at the moment. Here's Anthony on the edge of the Spurs box, back to Wan-Bissaka. Steered forward by Casemiro, but straight to Bissouma. And now what can Spurs do with this? Son tearing down the left. He wants to run at Varane, and Son might be able to skip away from him here. The two of them are battling for it on the edge of the Manchester United box, and Son's cut in field. First time we've seen a moment from him. This is Sarr, gives it to Kulusevski wide on the right, onto his left foot, drives it in tamely, and Onana gathers, and Richarlison's furious, standing at the feet of Onana. He wanted a cross, still 0-0.
Yeah, rather tame finish in the end. Definitely Spurs' best attack. Brilliant release pass from Bissouma. Speed, intensity with Son. Getting away from Varane, unselfish by Sarr, and maybe Kulusevski could have hit his shot with a bit more venom in quite a favourable position on his left foot.
0-0. That's Spurs' best moment of the game. Tottenham starting to play with a little bit more swagger. Here is Bissouma, centre of the field, just holding off Bruno Fernandes. Back to Porro and Romero inside the centre circle. Richarlison with his back to goal. Turns and feeds. I thought Sarr was going to shoot, actually, Bradley.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really his natural position inside the penalty area, is it? But he laid it off to Kulusevski, his son, who had his first proper moment on that flank a little bit earlier. Good from Wan-Bissaka again. Brilliant from Wan-Bissaka to take it away from Son. Then there's a little trick by Rashford to pop it through the legs of Van der Ven, and he's away through the middle of the field, and he's played in Garnacho, who's got lots of space. Porro to close him down. Garnacho, that's deflected, and it goes behind. It's a corner. They're claiming it was a hand, and Michael Oliver says it's not, it's a corner. It will get looked at. Garnacho's convinced. Let's have a look at it now. Ooh, that has hit Romero on the arm.
Is the arm close? I'm not sure. Is it outstretched? Is it in an unorthodox position? The ball is going on target, isn't it?
Just having a look.
I suspect he'll come over and...
Can I see a VAR
probably check this?
There's more television screens here than on your average street, and VAR are having a look at this.
A VAR decision going in favour of Manchester United, Nick?
I, for one, would be shocked. But it has struck Romero on the arm. That is his arm in a natural position. Romero's moving towards the ball as Garnacho cuts in field. Well, we can't see it from that angle, but there'll be a couple more. It did look as though it was close. This is going to be an interpretation, Bradley. He's given a corner without checking the monitor. We'll just update the situation. It is 0-0. Manchester United have just had a penalty shout, a effort block. Now, they keep throwing rubbish at the Manchester United corner takers, the South Stand. and it is mainly screwed up bits of paper at the moment, but loads and loads and loads of them are coming on whenever there's a corner, which is a little bit unsettling. This corner's about to be taken, but Garnacho drove a shot on the edge of the penalty area, and Romero, in his attempts to close it down, did strike his arm as it bounced away. Spurs have had their best chance through Kulusevski. That Vicario save from Rashford, the closest Manchester United have gone. It is a corner, not a penalty, and it's 0-0 with nearly half an hour played. Here's the corner, swung in, and Casemiro goes for it. It's headed away by Romero, drops to Mount, who heads it back into the mix. Romero with another towering header. Garnacho heading away from goal, and can Udogie make a challenge there? He can, and he's stopped Manchester United in their tracks there. They thought they were piling on pressure. It's a Spurs throw on the right-hand side.
Yeah, defended the penalty box from the set play pretty well there, Spurs. There was a first contact, second ball. Eventually it went out. Udogie went in on the challenge. I think it was Mason Mount, and that lifted the Tottenham crowd as well. Might be out of break here down the right again with Kulusevski.
Well, Richarlison's done quite well to skip away from the attentions of Martinez, and he's going to clip across into the box. Oh, Sarr falls over, doesn't find Kulusevski, taking up a position inside the penalty area. Now Bissouma tries to go round his man. Referee's going to give a foul against Bissouma there. Fernandez gets to his feet and marches away. Free kick, Manchester United inside their own half of the field. I have to say, Manchester United players didn't look entirely agreed that that wasn't given as a penalty, did they? Maybe they thought it was just natural movement, maybe.
Well, I don't want to hark back to the decision on Monday evening at Old Trafford, but that was...
Do you mean the assault?
Once in a lifetime mess up, wasn't it, by that official, not naming names?
Well, there were several of them, weren't there?
Yeah.
There was a referee involved, there was a VAR official involved. Play on.
Maybe at 10 to 10, the gentleman at Stockley Park just went for a cup of tea and a nice biscuit.
Maybe
he missed it.
Maybe he'd had a long day. Here's Casemiro for Rashford, edge of the Spurs box, just can't find his way through. Maddison's pinched it, and Maddison glides away from two Manchester United players and starts an attack for Tottenham. This is Udogie, left-hand side, Son to his left. He's got Richarlison making his way into the penalty area. Oh, lovely reverse ball. Here's a chance of Sarr, good save. Come down to Sarr again, he can't get his feet right. Goodness gracious me, Pape Sarr popped up again inside the penalty area, and Onana just stuck out his left hand and parried the shot. Tottenham's best chance to score, 0-0.
Well, I think what we're starting to see is, although United are having a good spell in this game, Tottenham are creating slightly better chances, certainly through the counter-attack. When they do break through that midfield pressure, there is space for Tottenham to exploit, and they're getting into more dangerous positions.
And I'm here to tell you that Pape Sarr has never scored for Spurs, but there's a little bit of me that says today might be the day, given some of the positions he's taken up so far. Onana clears, Udogie watches it over his head and out of play for a throw-in.
I think we're right to compliment Onana, but Nick, I'd like to play against him.
Would you? That's very interesting.
Do you know why?
Go on.
Because he gives you a chance if you get the press right.
It keeps you interested.
If you just get close enough, he'll try and do something a little bit cheeky, a little bit clever, maybe a drag back or a touch too many. Pounce, and you'll win it.
Well, Bradley, I'm sure you probably told me this. If I'm repeating your words of wisdom back to you, you only need to be lucky once, don't you, really?
That's it.
You keep asking the question,
and it'll happen.
Not work.
It'll happen. You know, he's a confident chap. He believes in his ability, but I think he'll make an error or two this season playing like that.
Spurs have it at the back, and again, it just felt a little bit earlier that Manchester United were really cranking it up. Maybe Spurs have weathered the storm. Here's Vicario at the back for Tottenham. Nice angled ball for Son, who flicks it on. Can't find another white shirt, though. It'll be blasted forward by Lisandro Martinez, collected by Anthony, rolls it forward. Here's Rashford, right edge of the penalty area, cuts it back for Fernandez, whose shot is blocked by Udogie. Comes out to the right, and Anthony once again, he's going to try and curl this in from a very, very tight angle, and it sails into the south stand. Still 0-0. We've got 14 minutes to, well, got 14 minutes to go until we find out there are still 10 minutes to go.
I think what's going to be a great watch for us this season, where Spurs play quite a high line and you know, they leave space for opposing attacking players in 1v1 situations. What we mustn't forget, Nick, is there's some really talented attacking players across the Premier League.
Yes.
And some of them are 1v1 specialists, aren't they? That like that room to manoeuvre the ball, to be positive, to drive, to take on their opponent.
Yellow card here is being shown to the Tottenham captain, I think, for a tangle with Wan-Bissaka.
United fullback, was it? I think he caught
or is it Wan-Bissaka?
Yeah,
sorry, I was looking down, and Michael Oliver wasn't entirely.
Maybe just frustrated.
It is Wan-Bissaka who's been booked.
Gives Son the ball.
Well, yeah. We've seen a good tussle between these two already. Doji's lost it. He's going to win it back, though, on the halfway line for Spurs. James Maddison, who is, I think, growing into the game a bit. It's angled ball for Son, who can't control the layoff, though. Well, they want it back, Spurs, and then they can't quite get hold of it. Or can they? Well, it's all a little bit desperate at the moment for Varane as he takes on two Spurs players to control him. He's got away with it. And Wan-Bissaka has fed the ball in field for Casemiro, and Manchester United are building from the back. 12 minutes to go in the opening 45. Here's Varane once again, and with Mason Mount inside the centre circle. He's getting a fair bit of grief as an ex-Chelsea player whenever he gets the ball for the visitors. Here he is again. It goes back to Lisandro Martinez once more, just inside his own half of the field. Richarlison comes to close him down. Maddison, in turn, puts pressure on Varane. It comes out to Wan-Bissaka, who's on that yellow card. Steered forward for Fernandes. Here's Anthony. Bruno Fernandes' ball is lifted forward, but kind of into no man's land, really, nowhere near Garnacho or Rashford, and it's easily marshalled by the Spurs back line. Back to Vicario, who plays it out short to Van de Ven and Romero. Back to Vicario once again. Spurs, in the same way as Manchester United, building patiently from the back. Maddison's dropped deep, wearing that number 10 shirt. Van de Ven collects it inside his own half of the field. He's going to make his way into United territory. Son helps it on. Here's Udogie, who's got forward.
Offside.
Always offside as he tried to bring Maddison into the game. Flag went up. Free kick, Manchester United inside their own half of the field. Well, it's a lovely evening in North London. I wonder whether the weather might turn, but it's glorious, really, and not quite as hot as it was. So everyone here is having a lovely evening out. What have you made of the opening 34 minutes, though, Bradley, from a Tottenham perspective?
Yeah, although neither side are on the score sheet just yet. I think that is likely to come in the second half, because I think we've seen enough from both these teams tonight that would suggest we're going to get goals.
Anthony on the right-hand side wants to take on Van de Ven, who's stuck with him. There's no way through for the Manchester United player. Wan-Bissaka gives it back to Anthony on the flank. Casemiro's joined in on that right side. Anthony moves in field. He's going to clip this from right to left, the other edge of the penalty area. And Garnacho, here's Shaw, first time cross, and an awful header by Bruno Fernandes, who may have been onside. The flag stayed down, unmarked, 6 yards out. And it's a big call from me, Bradley, because I never scored a Premier League goal, but surely it's easier to hit the target from that sort of range.
Well, we're only 2 weekends into the Premier League season. That might be miss of the season. He just drifted, ghosted in, didn't he? Beyond the Spurs defenders. A late run. Whether he felt that he's going to be challenged, he's going to be under duress or contact. But it's a really poor header off target. Big chance missed there. He had by Manchester United. He
had a rather desperate look at the assistant referee, as if to say, please put your flag
yeah,
out.
help me out on that one.
Do me a favour. Well, that really should have been 1-0 to Manchester United. He was onside. Kulusevski racing in field. He's been dragged down, hasn't he, there? Well, the referee says play on. In fact, he's given the advantage to Tottenham. Here's Son down the left, whips in a cross. It eludes Richarlison, who goes down under a challenge. There isn't anyone at the far post, and then Porro concedes a free kick. He's caught Garnacho on that side, and it's a free kick to Manchester United, and Richarlison is only just getting up.
Yeah, it's pity that, because he did well. Good strength, Kulusevski, rolled inside off that left foot. He was challenged by Shaw, good advantage by the referee. Maddison's pass found Son, and he opted to cross early. He might possibly have took a fraction longer. There was a little bump in the middle, but that's just wise defending, wasn't it, from Martinez? Argentinian up against the Brazilian. You'd expect that.
Don't forget, we've got live coverage on BBC Radio London tomorrow morning of England against Spain in the Women's World Cup final. Then in the afternoon on digital, it's West Ham against Chelsea. And then on Monday evening from 6, we're live at Selhurst Park for Crystal Palace.
Well played, Basuma.
Basuma's done well to spin away from trouble on the edge of his own penalty area. And he moves the ball forward, and he's fouled by Anthony, and that's a yellow card. Michael Oliver did not hesitate to book the Manchester United player for that. Free kick Spurs.
Yeah. I just think, Nick, if Spurs can stay in the game, as Fernandes now, that's the new directive. Credit to the referee.
And now Fernandes has said something else. And the referee's called him over for a second chat, having shown him the yellow card. And I think he's saying to Bruno Fernandes, with these new regulations, you are now treading a very, very thin line. You say one more thing to... It's like dealing with a child, actually. You say one more thing to me, now you have to make a choice.
Yeah. You better not moan now.
Exactly.
To some of these refs. Catch them on the wrong day.
Well, they have new powers. And to be fair to Bruno Fernandes, he's still giving Michael Oliver a piece of his mind. I think he's realised that he's on his last chance. And you see Bruno Fernandes very, very fortunate there, because once Michael Oliver shows him the yellow card, Fernandes jabs his finger in the air very close to Michael Oliver's face. And as you say, on the wrong day, or I don't know, on the right day, you're going to find yourself in even bigger trouble. Here's Udogie inside the United penalty area, brings it down, Son takes over, running square, offloads, and a drive that hits the woodwork from Pedro Porro. That has the crossbar shaking. Here's Sarr down the right, low cross coming in. Oh, it's in the post again! Everyone's beaten, and Martinez scrambles it clear.
Just the woodwork. The luck of Manchester United, extraordinary. Great effort from Porro, Onana beaten. Sarr persevered, it hit the near post in the follow-up attack. Nearly a first goal of the game there for Tottenham Hotspur.
Well, Manchester United should have been in front, and now Spurs have hit the post twice within a few seconds. Maddison turns his forward, Porro driving into the box, and he's tried to prod that at Onana, and
he
put it wide.
Longer. He had time, he had the runner, Martinez then. And he tried to flick it with the outside of his left foot. Here's the shot from the edge of the box.
Porro's
outside the right foot. Onana beaten. Just the thickness of the crossbar. Then Sarr cut back off of Shaw. Inadvertently diverted it. Would have been an own goal. Onana beaten once again, but the right post to United's rescue.
0-0. 5 minutes to go to half-time. Manchester United have had 2 real efforts. Fernandes header wide inexplicably, and Rashford's effort saved by Vicario. And Spurs hit bar and post within a couple of seconds of each other. That is a foul, surely, by Anthony. The game continues, lifted into the Spurs box. Good header back by Porro, beg your pardon, into the arms of Vicario. Well, since Pedro Porro gave the ball away early on for Spurs, he's grown into the contest, hasn't he?
Yeah, he certainly has. I think he's added some key attacking moments and assists, and he got himself edge of the box there in a really dangerous position and struck the ball pretty well.
Vicario combines with Romero inside the Spurs half of the field, and Tottenham will move forward. It's with Van de Ven now, the other centre half, and while Manchester United made a lot of the early running, Tottenham are growing into this, and Maddison is on the ball once again, threads a pass, it'll be collected by Sarr, who makes his way towards the edge of the penalty area, holds off 2 challenges, gives it to Udogie, edge of the United box, wide to Son on the left. It's closed down by Wan-Bissaka. Infield now for Sarr once again. Bissouma alongside him. He leaves it for the former Brighton player. Now Son again on the left. Udogie moves forward to the touchline and gives it back to Son. Spurs being patient. Into Richarlison, back to goal. It's going to drop to Son, is it? No, Wan-Bissaka almost by pure luck finds the ball at his feet and he clears.
You'd probably say, Nick, Tottenham Hotspur finishing the half stronger. Their best spell of the game.
Yeah, and the Spurs fans sense that. Udogie down the left, has the throw, 10 yards from the corner flag. Michael Oliver says get on with it. Headed away by Wan-Bissaka. Son stretching. Van de Ven has to be careful here because he's got Rashford behind him. Guided back to Romero on the halfway line. Porro again in a central position, goes wide to Papi Sarr. Kulusevski outside him. Sarr marauds infield into Richarlison. He's back to goal. Lisandro close to him, Lisandro Martinez. Here's Kulusevski, drives it in down the throat of Onana. It's the second time he's tried his luck from that sort of position, and Onana's been equal to it both times, 0-0.
Yeah, the drop of the right shoulder and coming in off that line again was clever from Kulusevski, but not enough power. Like Porro's shot to beat the keeper.
Reminder that Ange Postecoglou was unbeaten in all 38 of his home league matches as Celtic manager, so losing at home is not
great
something.
Press from Sarr.
Yeah, he's becoming more and more influential. He's gone down. That's a foul and a free kick to Spurs.
Probably don't want the half to finish, actually, Tottenham here. They're just getting a bit ragged and a little bit sloppy, aren't they? One or two of the Manchester United players. Yeah, that rather treatly turning the ball over.
That was Mount who was penalised. Maddison's free kick cleared away by Martinez. Oh, and then Porro's reacted first to it from the touchline. Sends it across. Romero can't control the header. It loops up in the air and Onana gathers it ahead of
it's a
Richarlison.
Chance, maybe. The World Cup winner jumped a little bit early there. Porro did well, pressing. He was stretched at that right byline and he hooked across in. And Romero was free.
He was on the score sheet against Brentford last weekend as Onana sweeps this forward. Van de Ven clears. There's no flag up against Rashford, even though he was very advanced. Game continues. Anthony into Casemiro. He can't control it, and it goes through to Vicario, who races to the edge of his penalty area, wants to distribute quickly and then waits. Just says hold on for a second, and there'll be a bit of a reset.
I think we'll have a few minutes, Nick, won't we? There's a couple of decisions for the referee to consider. Yeah, probably the big one was maybe that handball
lifted forward, and Fernandes is the target for this from Manchester United through to Vicario again.
The fourth official has indicated there will be a minimum of 3 minutes added time.
3 minutes? Do you feel you've had your money's worth, Bradley? Just 3 minutes?
Decent game.
It has been a good watch, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And we're learning a great deal about these two sides, the way this has been conducted. Here's Udogie and Bissouma on this left side. Maddison gets it back to Bissouma. And Bissouma and Sarr, as you've identified, Bradley, are having an increasing say. Me and my big mouth. He's just dumped that out of play ahead of Porro, and I've got a withering look from my erstwhile co-commentator to my right.
Yeah.
Just keep your big mouth shut, Nicholas.
I think as well, though, that Spurs can take confidence from the last 10-15 minutes of this first half, and I think the manager will give them a lot of positive words and encouragement at half-time. But you just feel for them to create a brilliant chance, Nick, one like they did for Porro. They've got to get Maddison on the ball, just in little half-turn position, pockets of space, perhaps off the back of Casemiro, who I thought struggled quite a bit on Monday evening. I think James Maddison can really be the key, attacking that south stand.
Udogie is going to get this back from Richarlison, sweeps it forward. Can Kulusevski get there before Shaw? No. Luke Shaw guides it away from danger. We're playing the second minute of the 3 that Michael Oliver has announced he'll be adding on at the end of this first half. It's 0-0 here on BBC Radio London. And Manchester United are on the attack. It's with Casemiro. Shaw joins in down the left once again. Given to Garnacho, who skips in field. Two waiting with a cross. He's switched it to the right. Here's Fernandez. He's going to dink this into the box. And the touch comes off Garnacho. And goes out of play for a goal kick, which Guillermo Vicario, making his home debut in the Premier League for Tottenham Hotspur, is going to take away to our right, and we're in the 3rd minute of stoppage time. Erik ten Hag never looks terribly pleased with anything, does he really? He's always rather sort of...
No, not too high or low, is he?
No, very sort of, yeah, very flat, you're right.
Even in the bigger games. There we go.
Kulusevski in for Maddison through the middle of the field. Spurs off and running. Here's Richarlison, challenged by Lisandro Martinez. Throwing goes Tottenham's way. Martinez is convinced it should have been his.
The Man United number 6, the left central defender, he's rather furious. Slid in well. Timed his challenge brilliantly there on Richarlison.
It's the first time we've seen Maddison in that advanced area, as you say. Spurs take the throw in short. This is with Yves Bissouma, central position. Sarr outside him to the right. Porro high up to the right of him. Sarr looks up, gives it to Pedro Porro, and the referee says that's half-time. And as you can hear from the ripple of relatively contented applause, Bruno Fernandes is still talking about something or other. Despite being on a yellow card and his last warning, Manchester United captain just cannot help himself at the moment. But it's 0-0. Both these sides have had chances in the first half. Spurs hit the woodwork twice in the space of a few seconds from Pedro Porro's drive, and then Sarr's shot. What have you spotted, Bradley? You were just drawing my attention to something. Is it one of the Manchester United coaching staff coming on to have a word? Or is it Steve? It's not Steve. Is that Steve McLaren? It is, isn't it? What's he got to say to Michael Oliver?
They wanted a penalty.
Get yourself back in your hutch, Steve.
Didn't think you were allowed to do that, Nick.
I didn't know. I mean, given what I saw at Wickham, surprised there haven't been a few more cards shown to the coaching staffs. Dear, oh dear, I had to give the post-match interview almost for Leyton Orient, given the number of coaches that were sent off in that one. So yeah, Sarr's cross then hit Shaw and it hit the post in that best moment for Tottenham, really. Manchester United's best chance is that Rashford effort saved by Vicario, and then that remarkable free header from Bruno Fernandes unmarked inside the 6-yard area. He put it miles wide. Absolutely extraordinary. Half-time, Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0.
BBC Radio London.
The home of London football.
There was that penalty shout as well, Bradley. We should say that. And, you know, Romero's arm was a little bit away from his body, but not away from his body enough for the VAR official to say to Michael Oliver, you've got to go and have a look at that, because he didn't check it. It was just decided it would be a corner. So that was probably the most quote-unquote controversial moment of the game.
Yeah, good fun, a good watch, Nick. And probably on balance of play, both sides could easily have scored a goal or two. Manchester United will feel harshly done, in my opinion, that they didn't get that penalty award, and Fernandes should have certainly scored with his headed opportunity. Spurs had a couple of really good efforts in the last 5-10 minutes of that first period. Second half goals, methinks.
Would you I'm going to probably ask you this quite a lot, Bradley, so forgive me. Would you put some through the middle?
Well, maybe because he just might be able to make a run in between or off the back of the shoulder of Varane and Martinez, who sometimes get a bit square on. But I think the actual pass before that needs to be fed perhaps to Maddison just a fraction quicker. I think if Spurs can contemplate that at the half-time interval, find that in key moments in the second half, then chances will most definitely come their way that may determine the outcome of this game. And I think Spurs have the potential here and the capabilities, Nick, to score goals against this Manchester United side. Having said that, Manchester United, with the space that they've had and the 1v1 moments and chances themselves, will feel and take confidence into the second that they can certainly score and win this one. It's finally poised.
It is. It's fascinating. Thank you, Bradley. Half-time, Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. If you remember, this time last year, Manchester United's first away game, they lost 4-0 at Brentford. things are a little closer at half-time in this game, and we'll have full commentary on the second half here on BBC Radio London Sport on Digital very shortly. But we will bring in Xavi Bird at this point to round up what has been a very busy day of games away from this one in the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Xavi, good evening to you.
Good evening, Nick. Yeah, thanks very much. No goals in this one yet. Well, we had 3 in our commentary game earlier on Radio London. All of them went to Brentford. They beat Fulham 3-0 at Craven Cottage earlier on. Brentford up to second for the moment. Let's get some reaction to that. Thomas Frank has been reflecting on the win with John Southall.
Any game you win in the Premier League, any game you can win 3-0, and if you can do that in a local derby against Fulham, of course, that is massive for us. I think it was even first half, but I think we were edged it on top in terms. Fulham were probably a little bit more on the ball, but we gave absolutely nothing away, I would say, throughout the game.
I was going to say, at 44 minutes, you probably didn't see a 3-0 scoreline coming, did you?
No, of course, but you never know that. And then sometimes in a very even game. So I would say defensively, first half, very pleased. Offensively, we need to be better to keep the ball in the right areas. And when we had the decisive moment, we missed them. But then a mistake, and then Wissa, he was ice cold and buried it. Second half, I think we took a step up. I think it was closer to 2-0, and then we got the penalty and 2-0, and from there, of course, it was more or less game over. Yeah.
And what about your goal scorers? You mentioned Wissa and Bumo again. I mean, a lot is going to fall on their shoulders this season. Yeah. I mean, how significant is it, first 2 weeks, that they've got your goals?
Yeah, it's so important because, of course, I understand the questions you guys ask me about Ivan Toney, who will score the goal. That is a very legit question. I was quite confident that Wissa and Brian, and I'm 100% sure that Kevin Schade and Keane Potter will come with goals as well. But these two, they'll bring us goals. We've seen it in games, we've seen it in training, and then they produced again today. I think actually Wish should score 1 or 2 more.
And just a quick one on the penalty. Have you seen it again? I don't think Fulham are massively happy with it.
No, for me it's a penalty. I think Wissa is clearly in front of Ream. There's clear contact. He's about to shoot, so I think it's a penalty.
So a good start for Brentford, not so much for Fulham, who are beginning life without Alexander Mitrovic. Marco Silva confirmed after the game that Fulham have agreed a deal with Al Hilal for the Serbian striker. It's reportedly £50 million. Silva also spoke to John Southall.
Tried to start on the front foot, but we had our moments during the first half, as Brentford has had that moment as well, and it was really balanced game, not big chances for both teams, to be honest, as well. And of course, in that moment, close the half-time, scoring a goal gave the boost for them. Even so, we tried to adjust some things at half-time, and our reaction was good. I have to say, at the beginning of the second half, we had that crossbar ball in a good moment from ourselves. When we were prepared to react, even from the bench, with Willian and Tom Carney ready to go, came the moment, the second goal and the penalty and the red card.
Tell us about it.
It's difficult to talk about something that I cannot see anything there. I saw already 10 times. But for me, the moment from the bench is impossible for me to see. I just got the reaction from our players. They were really surprised, all of them, team and the players around. They were really surprised with something that the referee saw that. I saw the moment there probably 10 times in many angles, all the angles that the broadcast gave us to see, and you cannot see anything. Okay, if it's not penalty, it's impossible to go. The team tried to go in the ball, didn't take out the player, didn't do anything. The player failed the ball in that moment, and the referee, this is the moment. Apart punish us with the second goal, we were with 10 players without a player for the next week as well. It's really difficult to understand that moment.
Was it Descent sucking yellow, or was it a goal score opportunity?
I don't understand what he saw there, to be honest. I don't understand what he saw.
Okay, what was your overall take then of the performance, and also obviously there's no Mitrovic. I mean, how badly was he missed today?
I'm here to talk about the players that they were on the pitch, not to talk about Mitrovic or other players. I think it will be unfair for the players. They run and they work really hard for the football club, instead of talk about absences or players. They were not here. We lost the game because we made a mistake in the first half that made them to go to lead the score, and of course after when you reacted. A complete decision from the referee that came against us, and made a huge impact in the game.
In the Championship, Queen's Park Rangers were unable to back up their big win in Cardiff last weekend. They were beaten by high flyers Ipswich Town 1-0 at Loftus Road this afternoon. Manager Gareth Ainsworth spoke to Harry Symeou.
Yeah, no one will get an easy ride at Loftus Road this season, I'm telling you that. That was a fantastic performance from the boys. Exactly what I wanted, minus the finishing touch. You know, if we're going to work on finishing, it'll be from a yard out, or don't hit both posts if you can do that possible in one attack. I mean, they were brilliant. They really were, and I thought that for long periods of the game we controlled it. We were the better side. We had the chances, but Ipswich took theirs. They took that one opportunity, and Connor Chaplin, you know, how often does he pop up at the right place in the right time? And he did that today, and that happens. That's football. What I am excited about is the fans, the players, the attitude after the game, the attitude before the game, the belief that these boys are showing. I won't let them doubt. I will not let any doubt creep into these boys, because with the players we've got coming back from injury, with the players we're going to be fitter with this season, people like Sinclair Armstrong, Ryan Colley, two youngsters, 19 and 18 years old, running the front line like they do, this place has got big futures ahead of it.
Sinclair Armstrong picked up an injury, it looked like, and he came off. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I'll tell you, it was an injury. It was cramp often leads to an injury. So we make that decision. You know, he's got to get fitter, and we know that. You know, he's so powerful and so explosive that at times, you know, he will blow up, and we've got to work on that fitness-wise. But we made a decision this season to ramp the fitness up quite slower than usual, because we had so many injuries last year. We had so many reoccurrences. That's what killed this club last year. We have some quality players. It's just the best ability is availability, and we need them out on the pitch. You know, and that's really important. So to answer your question, there's no injuries in anyone today. I think Sam Field took a knock in a big tackle, but I'm sure he'll be fine. We'll be ramping this fitness up, and if I'm honest, you'll probably see the best of QPR after the international break, the best. But for the next two games, I firmly believe we can win those as well. But I think there's exciting times ahead for this football club, and I'm so proud to be at the helm of it.
Well, earlier our programme came from Sutton United for the South London derby down in League Two between Sutton and AFC Wimbledon, and the Wombles came out 3-0 winners there. Sutton manager Matt Gray spoke to Phil Parry afterwards.
Yeah, very even game, especially first half. Thought they started a little bit bright and had a couple of moments and chances, but then we really grew into the half, and I thought we sustained long bits of pressure on them, and unfortunately we can take one of our moments or chances in that first half. And then second half I thought we started really well, hit the post, and in any game, but certainly in a game which your local rival, the atmosphere and what's at stake here, that the first goal is big in any game, and today unfortunately it didn't go our way from a great ball in and a set piece, and then a minute later we put a great ball in from a set piece and it gets cleared off the line. So disappointing, but they were clinical and took their 2 goals well in the last 10 minutes to take the game right away from us.
Yeah, does it feel a little bit sore though when you look at the scoreline, as opposed to you have to sit down and the players have to think about the overall match, don't you, really, rather than what it says on that on the classifieds? Yeah, we've lost the game, so 3-0 is harsh to take, and certainly in the circumstances it's not a good day for us, but I am very clear on where I feel that we're at after 4 league games, and I feel we should have some more points on the board. Not necessarily saying we should have only today, but certainly in the previous 2 I feel we should have done. And then I'm also clear on what I feel I need to bring in, and I'm also clear on the players that I feel have really been put under it. Quite a few of our players with 5 games in 14 days, with maybe a few coming into us late and not playing pre-season games, not enough minutes, and suddenly I felt we maybe just caught up with a few today as well.
Well, we'll be bringing you live commentary of the Women's World Cup final tomorrow from 11 a.m. After that, there's a huge London derby between West Ham and Chelsea at 4:30 tomorrow afternoon. That will be on DAB Digital. Lots of new signings for Maurizio Pochettino at Chelsea. Is he satisfied with the group he's now assembled?
I think 22, 23 player plus 3, 4, 5 player using every week through the academy. We were using yesterday some young player through the academy, and I was very surprised, very happy about the performance and the quality. I think it's good. It's good. Not bigger than we have now. Maybe we can add some player, but but not this number 23, 22, 23 player. I think is perfect. For at the moment. So far, I think it's good, and for the season that we are not going to be involved in European competition, I think it's good. But maybe even if next season we are involved in a European competition, I think maybe it's good also, to have the possibility to bring young guys through the academy to be involved and show that they can, play for the first team.
Well, that's Mauricio Pochettino, but is David Moyes daunted by taking on big spending Chelsea?
Yeah, you're right. It does make it difficult because they've got so many players, and actually they've got a lot of talent and a lot of boys who are relatively new as well. Not all of them are household names, but a lot of them are very, very good young up-and-coming players. So it's not that easy, but obviously I watched them last week and they played really well. So it'll be interesting to see what team they put out this week. Well, they spent a lot of money last year as well, and it didn't necessarily work for them. So that it doesn't always mean that spending money guarantees you success. Chelsea are entitled to work the way they do. They've done their own thing for many, many years and been incredibly successful. So I'm guessing that they're trying to be successful again, but they've signed a lot of really talented players.
That's David Moyes there. Now, the players are just coming back out at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, so let's hand you back to your commentary team. Bradley Allen is with Nick Godwin.
Thank you, Xavi. Xavi, do you think it was a penalty?
I didn't catch it, you know.
Oh, but you were working very hard.
I was listening to lots of other things, yes.
We've been trying to work out why you didn't go and have a look at it, but if you were very busy. But thank you for your half-time roundup.
For my insight, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. These matters will be discussed on Monday with Aaron Paul, I'm sure, from 6 o'clock. We're going to be live at Selhurst Park for that one, ahead of Crystal Palace against Arsenal. Here that we've got the second half of Tottenham against Manchester United to come, and I think match of the day this evening is going to dwell extensively, I would suggest to you, on the moment when it struck Romero's arm. And in those environments, you would have thought that Michael Oliver would be invited to decide whether or not the ball struck
Nick,
Romero.
I did see it.
You did see it?
I did see it. I've forgotten which one you were talking about. I did see it. I don't think that's a penalty, especially if Manchester United didn't get a penalty, if Wolves didn't get a penalty on Monday.
Aha! Now, you have that right. Well, that Bradley Allen's essay question for this second half, you have just given us a lot of material for it. So thank you very much indeed. Bradley, should it matter? Thank you, Xavi. We're about to get the second half underway. Should it matter that Manchester United got an iffy VAR decision?
Xavi can look into the future, Nick. He stole our thunder.
He did. We were going to spend ages wading through whether or not the iffy decision on Monday night means that Manchester United don't get a VAR decision.
Was it in the thoughts of Mr. Oliver, I wonder?
Well, I imagine he had Steve McLaren in his ear quite a lot of that half-time, because he was the last person to chat to him on the pitch. Chat or harangue.
But Monday evening at Old Trafford has come and gone, Nick, isn't it?
It has. Judge everything on its merits, surely. Underway for the second half here on BBC Radio London. And Tottenham in possession on the halfway line. We'll run you through the lineups. It's an appropriate moment. What a gorgeous evening in North London, by the way. As I said, that really muggy stuff that we had earlier. Maybe it's because I climbed five flights of steps, Bradley, but that felt really close earlier in the afternoon. But it's beautiful now as Anthony puts that out of play for a throw-in for Spurs, who've got Vicario in goal, back four of Porro, Romero, Van der Ven and Udogie. In midfield, Basuma and Sarr with Maddison ahead of them. Son on one side, Kulusevski on the other, and Richarlison through the middle at the moment. Onana is the goalkeeper for Manchester United. Back four of Wan-Bissaka, Martinez, Varane and Shaw. That is a free kick to Manchester United inside their own half of the field. Casemiro sitting in front of that back four. Anthony, Alejandro Garnacho, Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount supporting Marcus Rashford up front. The free kick is going to be sent back by Varane to Onana, and we're back underway. On the bench for Spurs, Forster, Skip, Højbjerg, Sanchez, Davinson Sanchez, that is, Emerson Royale, Perisic, Lo Celso, Solomon and Davies. And Tottenham are trying to press here, and they almost force a mistake. Oh, and then Shaw treads on it, but Kulusevski can't grab the ball first, although Spurs have won it back. And Porro plays it early down the right to Kulusevski, can't stop it going out of play. On the bench for Manchester United, Henderson and Vitek, they're both goalkeepers. Lindelof, Martial, Eriksson, Dalot, Sanchez, Palestri and McTominay. As mentioned, Michael Oliver is running the show this evening in North London, and Ange Postecoglou in his opening match in his new home ground stands on the edge of his technical area. As Udogie skips past 3 challengers and offloads to Maddison, 25 yards from goal, tries to find Son, and there's a foot in by Wan-Bissaka to take it away from him. Could Maddison have shot Bradley?
Oh, there's a big moment. Terrific dribbling skills shown by Udogie, centre field.
Yeah, Udogie's everywhere. He's just won this challenge.
He found Maddison. He's disappointing Maddison because I think he was tempted to just shift and whip the ball like we see him do time and again at Leicester. He was unselfish, tried to play Son on the outside, but Wan-Bissaka to the rescue for the Manchester United defence.
Fernandes can't control this, although he's won it back though from Son, and Manchester United are on the attack. He lifts this to the edge of the box. Garnacho controls it. He's got 2 Spurs players on him. Comes back to Shaw on that left-hand side. Manchester United trying to work it to Shaw on that side. But Richarlison has managed to find Maddison, and Son has gone charging forward. Maddison hesitates to release the pass. He's been boxed in by Wan-Bissaka on that left-hand side for Spurs. And Maddison turns and looks at Heung-min Son as if to say, you went in the wrong direction. Here comes Spurs down the right. Porro wide to Kulusevski. In space, into the penalty area. Here's the cutback, it's awkward. Drops to Sarr! Tottenham have scored! It's Pape Sarr's first goal for the club. And it's a fine finish from the edge of the 6-yard box. After Kulusevski's cross from the right wasn't dealt with. There is pandemonium in the South Stand. The Ange Postecoglou era is up and running. The post-Harry Kane era is up and running. 4 minutes into the second half. It is Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0.
Well, you're right, Nick. Spurs on the left-hand side. Maddison and Son might have missed an opportunity, but the ball was worked to the opposite side. Kulusevski to the byline. Terrific composure shown by the Swede. I think his right-footed cross took a deflection off of Martinez's thigh, but Sarr arrived back post. That's what you want from your midfielders. Gambling, taking a chance, and it's a terrific half-volley finish. Left foot, roof of the net, to give Spurs an early breakthrough at the beginning of this second half.
Well, when Ange Postecoglou went to bed last night, Bradley, his possible last thought on if one of my
he's clapping his team,
yeah,
and he's got a great response and reaction from the crowd as well. I said about Kulusevski in some good positions and a bit reluctant to cross with his right. He did exactly that.
At the other end, here's Rashford, turns away from 2 defenders. It's a bit of a scramble. Vicario gathers it. Well, game-changing moment, Bradley.
It may well prove to really open this game up.
Manchester United will look back at those chances. For Bruno Fernandes, here he is, centre field, feeds out to Anthony, inside the penalty area, hits the post, bounces away, Sarr collects it, still 1-0 to Tottenham. Anthony could have struck back immediately, just a minute and a half after Spurs went ahead. Here's Maddison, Son on the left, Richarlison makes his way into the penalty area, Son cuts in field, Maddison on the overlap, oh, it's gone over everyone, the cross.
Bubbled up. Sweeping move from Spurs. They're really going for it here.
They sense Manchester United a bit shook by that moment, that special moment for Pape Sarr. Just 20 years of age. Only his 3rd Premier League start for Tottenham. And he's rifled Spurs in front against Manchester United in the opening game of the Premier League season at White Hart Lane. Here's Maddison, 30 yards from goal. Wide to Son, played forward, Udogie, saved, comes out of Richarlison, no it doesn't. Richarlison was inches from connecting. Tottenham are battering Manchester United at the moment.
Confidence coursing through the veins of the Tottenham players here. Well, we've been waiting for it, Nick. We got a glimpse of it first half. Welcome to Ange Ball.
No handbrake on Ange Ball, it would seem. Here's Son, wins a corner. If Manchester United aren't careful, Spurs will ride this wave and win the game in the next 10 minutes.
Well, crucial they get a second. Rode their luck, width of the post this time. Denies Manchester United a swift equaliser.
yeah,
from Twinkle Toes Anthony.
I forgot about that. Anthony hit the post.
But at the other end, Maddison clapping the fans away to his right-hand side. Great noise, is it, there inside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium?
Fabulous atmosphere inside this ground. Tottenham lead. Maddison with the corner, raises his left arm, right-footed, sweeps this in. It's awkward. Udogie almost got on the end of it. Garnacho puts it up into the stratosphere. Basuma tried to control it. Oh, is that going to drop to Romero? He goes down under a challenge from Lisandro Martinez. The South Stand howls for a penalty not given. Here is Maddison, skips into the box, weaving run, and it's going to go through to Onana. There are now 2 Spurs players down inside the box, Maddison and Romero. Onana bowls it out to Shaw, and the game continues. Long one, this for Fernandez to chase. It's through to Vicario, and I think they're going to have to stop it.
Bit optimistic from Vicario. Yes. He wanted to attack with 9 players.
He gave it his son and said, off you go. VAR check underway for a penalty. We've not been told this on the graphic. Here is the tangle between Martinez.
To the ball first.
Oh, I don't know.
He's missed the ball.
He's caught him. I think Martinez has caught Romero before either of them have got to the ball.
Let's have a look.
Well, Bradley. What about this? There's another one, isn't there? No, the second one isn't a foul on Maddison.
No, it's a good block. When Maddison received the ball on the follow-up inside the box, but
I don't know about that.
I think the Tottenham coaching staff are just questioning the 4th official, and they're just saying, and again, Nick, you know, this is one of them where whatever's gone on before, forget it.
No,
Monday night, first half here.
Yeah, you've got to clear your mind.
Clear your mind, judge it on its merits.
Don't do a Zabby Bird. Don't be cluttered with events from days ago or even minutes ago. We'll be very zen about these things. I don't think anyone's going to give anything. It's going to be a drop ball inside the Spurs half. I think the referee, there's no graphic suggesting the check continues. Michael Oliver again has been able to restart the game.
Yeah, Steve McLaren's sitting down. He's gone quiet on that one, Nick.
Right, any thoughts, Steve? Anything you want to say? Still 1-0 to Tottenham in a febrile atmosphere inside the new White Hart Lane. It looked to me for all the world as though that was a foul by Martinez on Romero, but I tell you what, Paul Coyte must think it's a penalty. Penalty for you, Paul. Penalty. Have you seen that? Oh, you've been walking up the stairs. Big shout for a penalty. Paul didn't even know it was happening. He was stuck on the stairs. He's gone to say hello to some of our colleagues. It's all been going on. It looked like neither of them got the ball.
Just
and Martinez trod on Romero.
We're not even 8 minutes into this second half.
Dear, oh dear. And we're going to get 15 minutes at the end of it as well. Here's a free kick to Manchester United, who trail by a goal to nil here on BBC Radio London. Bruno Fernandes down the right. Clips this into the box. Casemiro! Brilliant save by Vicario. That was well met by Casemiro. This header was on target. And the Spurs keeper sprang to his right and touched it over the bar.
Well, we see him do that in the League Cup final last season, didn't we? Big right hand, top corner, plucks it away. Tremendous goalkeeping there from Vicario.
Still 1-0. Shaw takes this short, this corner, and lifted in and headed away by Romero, and hacked clear by Son. And can Kulusevski get away from Wan-Bissaka? Well, Kulusevski goes down.
If he'd have really gone with top speed, Wan-Bissaka's on a yellow as well, Nick. He had half a pitch.
So headed well
to break and counter into.
Kulusevski and Wan-Bissaka are on their own inside the centre circle.
Oh, he's missed the ball, actually. Well, I say he's missed the ball, but he's sliced at the ball, and he's only got a tiny touch on it. And he's kicked the outside of the right foot.
He's kicked Kulusevski once Kulusevski's gone to ground. But yeah, you identified it straight away. Son hooked the ball towards halfway, and it was Wan-Bissaka against Kulusevski. And Kulusevski got a lace to the ball, not much else, and then clipped Kulusevski on his way down. We're seeing that Casemiro header against a great save by Vicario. Close enough to him for him to be able to reach it, but it's a big reach with his outstretched right hand, and he flicks it over the bar. It's been some game this, Bradley. We've had posts, bars hit, penalty appeals, terrific goal. Great saves by both goalkeepers. That from Vicario is the pick of the bunch. And some controversy as well.
I think what's rather funny and quite amusing for us, although he has, I think there's almost been a reluctance for the referee to go to VAR. Yeah. It's a bit old-fashioned, Nick, actually, and maybe the referee's made some incorrect calls, but you know what? It's been a great watch, isn't it?
Yeah, there's been loads going on.
And I know you've never been an advocate of it, Nick, but it's
here now.
It's a throwback game, isn't it?
And we're never getting rid of it. It's going to be forever, unfortunately. But no, I was never particularly keen on it, and I can't really see that it's made a vast number of improvements. Football was pretty good, I thought. I rather enjoyed it. It didn't really need better refereeing, not cameras everywhere. Kulusevski's had to come off. He'll come back on. The game has restarted. And Spurs are leading. Kulusevski's not been allowed on the field yet, and now Fernandes has broken through for a chance. Another good save by Vicario. This one towards the bottom corner wasn't the sweetest of efforts. There was a flag up as well, I think.
Yeah,
offside.
Just ran a fraction early. Don't know why Kulusevski didn't come on quicker than what he did, because they tried to swiftly exploit the numerical advantage there, the visitors, on that through ball. He was stretching Romero, but the assistant on that far right-hand side had flagged.
You're listening to BBC Radio London. Pape Sarr's first goal for Spurs separates these two sides. It's 1-0. Here's James Maddison, who is increasingly influential in this game, and he wriggles away from Anthony here and crosses halfway. Son ahead of him. Oh, and Maddison's ghosted past two more. Fantastic stuff from the signing from Leicester. Back to Sarr, 30 yards from goal. Wide to Porro, right-hand side. He's going to run at Garnacho. He offloads to Kulusevski. Edge of the box, wants an angle, and then it's driven over the top by Bissouma for a goal kick for Manchester United. Or it's the James Maddison show all of a sudden.
The breakthrough, the excellent goal from Sarr. Spurs have got a real bit between their teeth, I suggest.
Oh, that's going to be a foul by Porro on Alejandro Garnacho. Here come Manchester United down their right. Anthony, who thought he'd equalised just after Spurs went in front. It's a good challenge by him to win it back after Son dispossessed him. And there's an important interception by Bissouma, and now Son has space to work with down that left-hand side, running at Varane. He's cutting in field. Maddison arriving to help. Son into Maddison. Back to Son down the left edge of the penalty area. Richarlison waiting for it. Headed away as far as the edge of the box. And here's Bissouma. Ghosts into the Manchester United penalty area. Little back heel for Son. Now Udogie. Corner of the box. Bissouma. Little back heel. Udogie takes over. Son. Is he going to get the shot away? Still going Son. Shoots. It's blocked by Shaw. And it goes behind. The Spurs fans were baying for someone to let fly. Just no way through.
Manchester United are there to be knocked out, Nick. They are there to be knocked over here. Spurs mustn't waste these chances. Some intricate football in such tight area there, inside that penalty box. It's a great block in the end, I suppose, from Luke Shaw.
How that hasn't at least hit the target, I do not know. Corner to Tottenham. Maddison takes it, raises both arms above his head, steps back in front of that south stand. Here's the delivery, whipped in towards Romero, headed away by Casemiro, who had that chance for Manchester United. They have had a number of opportunities, have Manchester United during the course of this game, but they've all stayed out so far. Here's Son coming forward again. And now Bissouma opens up for him, then he gets closed down as he thinks about shooting. Sarr, the goal scorer, wide to Kulusevski on the right-hand side. Running at Shaw, gets held up, back to Porro. Spurs are pushing Manchester United right back onto the edge of their own penalty area. This is Maddison on the left, low cross. cleared, only half cleared really by Casemiro. Here's Kulusevski, sent it down the right. Porro trying to get hold of it. Shaw has seen that out. Goal kick for Onana to take. We're 17 minutes into the second half. It's 1-0 to Tottenham. Manchester United have not lost at this stadium. They've got a very good record here, but they're trailing at the moment with just under half an hour to go. Spurs' only victory in their last 9 league games.
He cut such a
away 6-1.
composed figure, didn't he, the Spurs manager, and Postecoglou on the touchline.
Udogie shown a yellow card for backchat.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Decision went against him. He spoke to Michael
Anthony
Oliver.
Ran after the ball and pushed the full-back in the back there. It was a bump. It's a challenge from behind, no more than that.
But do you think it was for arguing, the actual yellow card?
Yeah.
Because he snapped back, didn't he? Michael Oliver having none of it. Well, not having none of it, having some of it, but not all of it. Following him. Maddison on halfway. Son the target, sprints away down the left. Can he keep it in play? Yes, he can. Richarlison in the box. Sarr as well. Here's Maddison on the edge of the penalty area. Gets held up. Back to Son. Keeps it alive. Bissouma takes over. Bissouma drags onto his right foot, then his left. Still going. Maisie run. Low shot, just wide. Well, they're still creaking.
But they're lining up, aren't they? Every attack, every ball that goes into Maddison, the release attacking pass is setting Spurs on their way. And these opportunities are mounting up.
And Christian Eriksen is being called for by Erik ten Hag. In fact, a number of changes are being readied for Manchester United, including Diogo Dalot, who is going to be introduced, presumably to help stem this tide. And it is a tide at the moment, but it's only 1-0. Kulusevski, right-hand side, wants to release Porro. Times the run, Porro with Shaw. Shaw does just enough, only just enough, mind you. Garnacho's going to take over. Brilliant snap into him by Sarr. Stops the counter-attack in its tracks. That's brilliant. And you can hear the noise. They love that, Spurs. Sarr ranging across the middle of the field. Just making sure Garnacho got absolutely nowhere. And Manchester United are getting ready to make these two changes. Eriksen and Dalot to come on. Oh, that's Udogie having his pocket picked. Here's Anthony. Rare attack this for Manchester United at this stage of the game. Little step over, runs into Van de Ven, who gives him no quarter. Takes it away from him. Udogie runs it clear. Here's Richarlison, wins a throw.
There's that triple change, as you mentioned, Nick.
It's a triple change. Yeah, we got another one. Jadon Sancho's coming on as well. So the first one off is going to be Anthony, I think. No, Garnacho's the first one to be replaced for Eriksen, who had 7 wonderful years here. And Anthony has come off as well. Coming on to replace Anthony is Sancho. And coming on Dalot's come on.
Wan-Bissaka on the far side.
On that yellow card, been withdrawn.
Not surprised there, because Spurs had a good number of attacking moves and positive attacking moves in this second half down that left flank with Son and Maddison. Well played, Richarlison. Porro's away.
Finds him on the right-hand side. Here comes Spurs again. Manchester United still adjusting to the changes. Porro's cross is deflected. That's gone behind, surely. Oh, that looked like a corner to me, but Onana grabbed it and the assistant referee said play on. We are nearly halfway through the second half here on BBC Radio London. It is Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0.
Well, of Manchester United, 66 minutes in, just weathered that Spurs onslaught.
Yeah, could be a critical period of the game. Tottenham have won this back with Romero. Manchester United have now made the changes.
Oh, well played, Sarr. Brilliant.
Accelerating away from Eriksen. Finds Son down the left. Udogie makes his way into the box. Son waits, finds Udogie inside the penalty area. On the edge, he's got Varane for company. Oh, and the back heel actually doesn't really work. It hits Dalot. And then it's headed out of play by Fernandes. Much to the delight of the home supporters. So a throw in at Tottenham deep inside Manchester United territory. It'll be a throw-in for Udogie to take. I I know we've got a long way to go, Bradley, but this would be a priceless first victory.
Huge win.
In so many ways. If they can hang on or extend their lead or whatever we're talking about after 90 minutes or however many minutes it is, the opportunity here for Tottenham is massive. It's going to be a throw-in on the far side. And the performance of the likes of, well, Sarr in particular, but Porro as well on this near side, very encouraging.
A marker, so to speak.
Well, absolutely.
Almost to suggest, you know, I get it. Yeah. I see what you're trying to do here.
A statement. Kulusevski into the box. Richarlison can't get on the end of it. He's almost collided with the post as he flung himself full stretch, but he just couldn't reach it, and Onana grabbed it. Work it. Here come Manchester United on their right, still kind of in third gear after the battering they've taken from Tottenham in the last 10-15 minutes or so. Here's Fernandes on the right, sends it straight to Udogie. Bruno Fernandes not a happy bunny. Ivan Perisic is going to come on, as is Ben Davies for Spurs. So Ange Postecoglou is shuffling his pack after Manchester United made their alterations. Perisic for Udogie, possibly, you would have thought.
He's on a yellow now, isn't he?
He is,
Maybe Ben Davies on that side.
Maybe going to a 5, I don't know. It's not... Well, we'll see. We'll see what Mr. Postecoglou has lined up for us to try and defend this lead against Manchester United. Casemiro, left side, looks up, gives it to Sancho, who runs into Porro, out of play off Sancho for a Spurs throw.
Tottenham can make the double change.
Yeah, Dogie's coming off now for Perisic.
Substitution for Spurs, replacing number 30.
And he's going to get a warm round of applause.
Number 33, Ben Davies.
Beg your pardon, Ben Davies coming on for... That suggests maybe Perisic will be played higher up the pitch, I don't know. And Richarlison's coming off to be replaced by Perisic.
Replacing number 9, Richarlison, number 14, Ivan Perisic.
Now,
well, you said, Nick, Heung-min Son, the Tottenham captain,
Son through the middle, yeah.
Maybe down through the middle.
Well, I'd be very interested to see what this is like.
He's worked hard, Richarlison.
Yeah, he gets a pat on the back from his manager.
He's disappointed.
He doesn't look happy.
Upon 70 minutes nearly that he's been taken off. I think, and I've liked the way that he took the ball in under pressure. First touch, set, keep possession. Done that quite well tonight.
No, he's not happy at all, Richarlison, with being taken off, and he's sitting on the bench and he's letting everyone round him know. Telling Emerson Royale in no uncertain terms that he's a little bit disappointed about being replaced. It looks as though Spurs will continue. Well, their Son's through the middle, no question. Is Perisic playing in the Son role?
Yeah, he is, off that left-hand side.
So it's still a 4. Onana clears. This is collected by Bissouma. Pape Sarr. Here's Ben Davies on that left-hand side. Uses Maddison, honestly. I'm 7 years out of date, Bradley. Calling Maddison Eriksson. Here's Porro down the right. Eriksson is on, playing for Manchester United, of course. That's the best pass by Kulusevski. Allows Sancho to make progress down that flank. Spins away from Porro and he's off. Jadon Sancho. He needs some help from Bissouma. Bissouma's put it out for a throw.
Terrific from Bissouma. Vacated the centre field position and backed his teammate up after a rather cheap Kulusevski turnover there.
Shaw's throw finds Christian Eriksen down that left-hand side, plays it square.
Got to keep
Varane
getting Maddison on the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. All of a sudden,
haven't they, Tottenham?
All of a sudden wants the ball all the time.
It's the game, I think, for him, because he adds that creativity to this Tottenham side this season, and he's played in confident fashion tonight, like the man on the ball did for many years.
Yeah, Christian Eriksen. You can see why I might get the two of them muddled up, because he's a player that Spurs have lacked. Eriksen sends this into the Spurs box, headed away by Davies. Perisic launches this, one for Son to chase. Onana is so far off his line. just brings it down as though he's out for a stroll. And Manchester United start again. Eriksson drives it forward. It's switched out to that far side of the field. And Dalot. It's going to be easy for Kulusevski to collect that rather aimless ball forward for Manchester United. Kulusevski just hurtles down the flank. He's got Sancho with him. Sancho gets a good foot in, and then Sarr just steers it out to stop Sancho breaking away down that flank.
That's going to be very important. If there is a turnover, you know, Spurs' discipline on those transition moments. Certainly Sarr and Bissouma, they've got to cover a lot of ground. Perisic is going to have to help out in that regard. Oh, he slipped.
And Eriksson has almost given this to Maddison, and it's put behind by
so
Varane.
lucky. Wow, Christian Eriksen complaining about the pitch and the surface.
That would be a changing of the guard. If Eriksson's slip allowed Maddison to score his first goal for Spurs.
That could have easily have broke to Maddison, and then he would have had a simple shot 15 yards out from goal. That man's getting a great ovation and noise from the Tottenham fans. They've been impressed by his display and debut tonight.
Maddison will right-footed swing this out. Perisic forward. Son at the edge of the box. Ben Davies in the 6-yard box. This is flicked on towards the far post, but not away. Collected by some by the corner flag. Eriksson with him. Two former colleagues, of course. Reached the Champions League final. Porro. Given to Bissouma, back to Porro as the last man back, and he's going to clip it out wide to Perisic on that left-hand side. Flag stays down, Spurs on the attack. Perisic moves away from Dalot very easily. Edge of the penalty area to Maddison, who gets closed down by Casemiro. Wants to try and seek out Porro. Maddison twists back for Perisic left-hand side. Here's the delivery, looking for Kulusevski, can't connect. Rashford back doing some defensive work to launch a counter-attack for Manchester United. Again, Sarr, straight in. Steaming in, slams the door. Manchester United throw. They're enjoying Pape Sarr, aren't they?
What it reminded me of there, Nick, sometimes.
Here's a chance for Manchester United through to Vicario.
Those wonderful days at White Hart Lane, when a Scott Parker went sprinting across the pitch, slid in and make the challenge, and the fabulous noise.
Absolutely no.
Inside that wonderful stadium.
I know exactly what
we're up, weren't they? That's what he's done a couple of times, Sarr.
Pierre-Emile Højbjerg is coming on for Pape Sarr, who is going to, and I don't think this is just for the goal, this ovation, Bradley.
No.
He's been brilliant.
In a word, energy.
Yeah,
that's what Sarr has brought in an abundance as this game has gone on. Great applause for him. Well done, young man. Fine goal.
Well, I would be surprised if he doesn't start at Bournemouth next Saturday lunchtime, Bradley. And he has a word with Ange Postecoglou, who mutters in his ear. Lots of high fives on the bench. He's scored the only goal of the game. He's made some very, very important interventions. Manchester United plod forward with 15 minutes to go. They trail 1-0. They've not looked terribly threatening since Anthony saw his effort come back off the post. Dalot has it right side. Ben Davies comes out to deal with him. Dalot's still going. Fernandes outside him. Skips in field, sends in a cross that looks for Mount. It's only half cleared as far as Shaw. Comes out to Mount on that left-hand side, back into Shaw again, whose cross eludes Fernandes and chested back by Perisic into the arms of Vicario.
Yeah, good info from Bissouma as well. Experience, chest touch back to the goalkeeper there from Perisic, the substitute. And Spurs can then build and get out into their positions and shape.
Romero clips this forward. Son can't hold it up. Kulusevski and Sancho combining. That's been sent back to Shaw into the feet of Eriksson. Manchester United starting to have a little bit more possession in the middle of the field, but they've not looked terribly threatening.
Well, they'll bring that, the experienced Christian Eriksen. He'll bring some order, some composure, won't he, to United's play here. And they're just ever so slightly building some momentum themselves.
Rashford down the left, wants to take on Porro, and Porro's got the better of him. Rashford couldn't get round him. Kulusevski puts that out of play, off Rashford for a Tottenham throw.
Really important spell, I suspect, here, Nick, in this game. It's going to determine that final score into the 90-plus minutes. And who may end up winning, drawing, or possibly losing this game.
Yeah. Critical passage. Spurs leading 1-0. This is BBC Radio London. It's Nick Godwin and Bradley Allen with you. And Spurs have possession. They've won it on the halfway line, and Son accelerates forward. Finds Perisic left-hand side. Not much in the box at the moment. Perisic's cross hits Dalot and is blocked. Comes out to Davies, though. Spurs very good at recycling the ball on occasions like this. Here's Maddison. Wide to Son again on that left-hand side. Goes back to halfway. And Van de Ven. Here's Bissouma. He's got 2 Manchester United players around him, but you wouldn't have thought it, the way he went about things. Gets it off to Højbjerg. And now Porro. Van de Ven. Maddison on that left-hand side. Back to Van de Ven once again. 12 minutes to go. Spurs 1. Manchester United 0 here on the home of London football. With the Women's World Cup final tomorrow morning at 5 to 11. And then West Ham against Chelsea at 4:30. Our coverage on digital radio starts at 4. Then we're live at Selhurst Park on Monday from 6. What a few days of football we've got for you. Here's Kulusevski on the right. Can't make progress. Combines with Højbjerg. Sancho tries to hold them up. The Dane uses Bissouma. Kulusevski back to Højbjerg. Spurs looking composed. Maddison turns and finds Son with his back to goal.
Lovely football.
Now Davies joins in left-hand side. He's run into an awful lot of space. Ben Davies finds Kulusevski. Tight angle. Can't get the cross in or the shot. Anana raced off his line. But Tottenham was zinging that around.
Yeah, it just opened up from left full-back inside. He sort of took the pass from Maddison, Ben Davies, and he might have shot himself from the edge of the box. Tried to thread it through to Kulusevski, just fraction over hit it out for a goal kick.
10 minutes to go. Sancho running back into his own half, once again pursued by Pedro Porro. Feeds it in field. This is Varane, who scored the winner against Wolves. Crosses halfway. Neither of these two sides have seen an attacking players. I mean, if you count Sarr's attacking player, which is debatable, I suppose. Here's Mount down the right for Manchester United. Tries to twist away from Van de Ven. Gets a cross in. He eludes everyone except Kulusevski. And then the shot into the ground and then into the arms of Vicario comes in from Casemiro. Couldn't really generate the power he would have wanted.
Yeah, I think it was headed out from Porro. And he was supporting the play. The experienced Casemiro hit the shot down into the turf. It sort of took the pace and the speed out the shot, and Vicario was behind it.
Porro inside his own half on that left touchline. Plays it back into his own penalty area, and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg sends it back to Vicario, who right-footed gives this plenty of air over the halfway line. The target is Son, he won't win it. Bissouma can't get hold of it either, and Rashford has collected the ball high up the pitch, and Manchester United have bodies forward. One of them is Eriksen, 25 yards from goal. Goes wide to Dalot. He's got Casemiro in the penalty area. Fernandes has it on that right side, back into Eriksen. Now Varane thinks about breaking forward, gets held up. Lisandro Martinez lifts the ball into the box, and that goes nowhere near another red shirt. And Bruno Fernandes is barking frustration at his centre-half for that delivery. Maybe Onana should have delivered the pass.
See the idea. Perhaps a little bit of lack of quality from Manchester United's perspective, but you know, they're gonna push further up the pitch. They're gonna commit more men on the press, aren't they, when Spurs are in these situations and playing out themselves. And I think if Spurs can play through, round or over that with quality, Tottenham are going to have counter-attack moments in these closing minutes to secure this game with an opportunity and possibly a second goal. Another change, another striker, Martial.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a second change as well. I don't think this is just going to be Martial on his own, but he is definitely coming on. There's more activity on that Manchester United bench. I think that's Palestri who's being readied on the touchline. So Manchester United with more changes to make. Here's Son, centre of the field. Maddison Lovely pass out wide to the left to seek out Perisic. Two in the box here. One of them is Davis! Oh, he's tucked it in! Ben Davis extends Tottenham's lead and maybe puts the result beyond doubt. It wasn't the cleanest of contacts. It was helped towards goal from that left-hand side, and I think the last touch was from Davis. He swung a foot at it, and Onana was beaten. All ends up, and with 8 minutes to go, Tottenham might just be over the line for a first 3 points for Ange Postecoglou as Tottenham manager. Manchester United waiting to make those changes, and while they did it, Spurs broke forward, and Ben Davis just managed to get on the end of Perisic's pass. Or maybe he hasn't struck it. In fact, it's an own goal. I think it might have come off Martinez last. Either way, Tottenham lead by 2-0, and it is Lisandro Martinez who puts through his own net. Davies didn't touch it. The Manchester United defender did. Tottenham 2, Manchester United 0.
Well, what a start for Ange Postecoglou. What noise inside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. There's a vibrancy. They've played with real endeavour, energy, Tottenham, this second half especially, and they deserved that. It was an own goal, and you'd think, barring a miracle here, it's going to be 3 Premier League points, the first of the season for Tottenham Hotspur. Fantastic.
Well, Facundo Pellistri and Anthony Martial are being sent on here with a situation that's gone from difficult to almost impossible. Mason Mount's coming off in the first instance.
Substitution.
Here, Tottenham 2, Manchester United 0. Mount coming off for Pellistri. Wearing number 28. And Marcus Rashford, who looked a real threat in the first half, has disappeared. Comes off.
Surprisingly, he's been removed.
But all this for these Spurs fans is secondary, because thanks to Pape Sarr's opener and an own goal from Martinez, Spurs lead 2-0 at the new White Hart Lane. And who knows, maybe they could compound the misery before full time. Manchester United look a little bit shell-shocked, I have to say. After a game that was close for long periods, don't forget, Manchester United could well have equalised moments after going 1-0 down as Porro almost burst through. Varane stops him. Eriksen rolls it forward. Here's Martial. Casemiro challenged by Romero. Comes out to Pellistri on the flank. He goes down under a challenge from Perisic. The referee, I think, has played advantage here. And here is Fernandes, whose effort is blocked. Kulusevski tries to get it clear, doesn't work. Tottenham with everyone behind the ball. You can hear the noise inside this ground now. Richard Shaw, and now Bruno Fernandes again, who floats in the box. Pellistri makes a run, but Vicario gets there first.
Took it well to the pitch of the ball. Wasn't quite aware of Pellistri, but he was brave and secure in his handling. You know what these Tottenham fans have enjoyed? It's evident, Nick, and us as well. This go for it attitude.
Buccaneering spirit.
Yeah. Football fans up and down the country, they just love that.
Here's Son through the middle. Oh, he's giving it away. Casemiro driving Manchester United forward again to try and set up a big finish. Dalot down the right. Goes past Davies. Davies gets the block and it floats awkwardly. Well, it stayed in fact. Comes out to this left-hand side and Sancho. Now Luke Shaw swings in across, headed away by Bissouma. Comes out to Dalot on the right. Into Varane. Here's Lisandro Martinez. Varane again. Wide to Pellistri on the right-hand side. Manchester United desperate for a foothold. We've got 3.5 minutes of the 90 to go. More changes for Spurs. Emerson Royale. Manor Solomon's going to make first Tottenham appearances. Pellistri bursts into the box.
Oh, that might be a penalty.
Well, he went down under a challenge, but I think the ball might have gone. Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, he's checking it. I think he's going to check this.
Now, has the challenge been made? Oh, I think Ben Davies trips over himself and takes Palastri down. Had the ball gone? I wonder whether the ball has...
Tough call that, Nick, wasn't it? Not easy, not straightforward.
Just waiting. I think we're going to have to make these changes while they wait. Yep. Manor Solomon is going to make a first Spurs appearance, and he's going to replace Kulusevski. 24-year-old Israeli signed from Shakhtar Donetsk in the summer. Was on loan at Fulham last season. First competitive appearance in a Spurs shirt. Emerson Royale is going to come on for Pedro Porro, who I thought played very well, Bradley.
Yeah, he's been steady. Got up and down the wing, defended with resilience. Emerson Royale to help Spurs with Solomon and the other subs. Close this game 1 out.
No penalty against Ben Davies after the VAR check. The game back underway. Spurs have made their alterations. Shaw sends this infield. Here's Romero just inside his own penalty area. Wide to Solomon. His first touch is to run at Luke Shaw. And he's held the ball up well and found Emerson Royale, who's dispossessed. Sancho burrowing forward for Manchester United. Given to Fernandes, who's cut out. It was Perisic who made the challenge.
Yeah, for the first time, seen Ange Postecoglou just a tad frustrated there with that cheap turnover from, well played, Solomon.
And then Shaw has held him back. The referee's waved advantage. Here come Tottenham. Bissouma on the right-hand side. They enjoyed that. Oh, and then Bissouma's given it away, and Manchester United can come forward. Although they have given it away. Højbjerg steps in, runs at Eriksson, given to Maddison. Perisic is wide on the right if he can find him. Tottenham on the attack in the last minute of the 90. They lead 2-0. Maddison pops up inside the penalty area at an angle. Oh, he's not really got a white shirt to aim at. Solomon was the only one there. And Casemiro will clear. Spurs desperate to win the ball back. They love a third just to put the cherry on the cake. But Manchester United are moving over the halfway line now with their former midfielder Christian Eriksen. He's got Palastri to his right. Here come the away side. Palastri on the edge of the box. Runs out of road. Uses Dalot behind him. Into Bruno Fernandes, who lifts this into the box. Casemiro's header is straight at Vicario, who gathers it. Very, very comfortable. I was going to say, the one thing I haven't detected amongst this Spurs team is any fear at all today. Not at the beginning, not against Manchester United, not with the enormity of the occasion. Never entered the lexicon.
And I think he's brought that already in the short term at his arrival at the club. He said that in no uncertain terms to the players. It's not going to be on not trying, not pushing forward, not getting after the ball, not playing with an intensity. The Tottenham players across pre-season have trained very, very hard. Perhaps they're still a little bit short in terms of actual games themselves, but boy, have they improved. I would say probably 15 minutes onwards in this game, and they've finished with terrific strength. And we've got 9 injury minutes as well, Nick.
We do, yeah. The referee is going to add on 9 minutes. Spurs lead 2-0. Manchester United still probing, still trying to get a foothold. They have had chances in this game. Vicario and the posts have intervened. Palastri wide to Dalot, skips away well from Davies, stands up a cross. It's headed away by Bissouma as far as Eriksson. Here's Lisandro Martinez, who had the final touch for the goal. Into Fernandes, who curls this down the throat of Vicario. Well, too easy, really. I mean, since that brilliant springing save by Vicario, well, everything else has been tame.
There's been key moments. The handball against Romero, probably a United penalty kick. Both sides hitting the woodwork. I think the Anthony effort at 1-0 for Tottenham. Lovely turn from Højbjerg.
Yeah, that was the key moment.
Yeah, I think so.
Stayed out, and then Spurs were able to have that really dominant period.
I think what the Tottenham manager would love as well, and the fans, is a clean sheet here, Nick. That would be the cherry on the cake, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, it would be perfect. Make it a perfect first home game for Ange Postecoglou. Here's Emerson Royale over the halfway line. Maddison makes a dash forward. If Royale spots him, he hasn't. And Solomon has it on the right-hand side. Bradley was urging Emerson Royal to make that pass. Goes back to Basuma, though. Still got 7 minutes to go. Comes back to Højbjerg. Van de Ven has it inside his own half of the field. The Spurs fans are really enjoying themselves now. Højbjerg sweeps it wide to Solomon. Wants to take on Luke Shaw. He's had a little battle with him already once or twice. Comes in field, uses Højbjerg. Højbjerg has not done Basuma any favours there, but Basuma's got himself out of trouble. And here's Ben Davies coming forward for Tottenham, who lead 2-0. Perisic, left-hand side, Son in the box. Here's Maddison. Maddison wants to shoot. It's blocked by Eriksson. Bullet on the volley from Davies is blocked as well. Well, that could have gone anywhere. Solomon scampers into the Tottenham box once again. He's got Casemiro for company. Towards the touch. That's not a bad cross. It almost falls to Maddison. Then it's lifted back into the danger zone by Davies and gathered by Onana. Got 6 minutes left. All this injury time really does kind of distort the way the game is almost being managed, because the normal course of events would be in the 4th minute of stoppage time. Unless something remarkable had happened, everyone would just be kind of winding down.
Well, that's where the fitness levels and certainly the substitutes that are introduced and come on still have a significant part to play in any Premier League football match.
Davies in strongly with Dalot, goes out for a Manchester United throw. I mean, goals do change games. If Manchester United were to fashion something late on, you never know. But at the moment, Spurs seem to have this excruciatingly assembled, excruciatingly expensively assembled Manchester United team under control. They've all cost gazillions, these Manchester United players. Here's Varane. But at the moment,
but it's that old adage, Nick. Does it fit? Do they come together? Can the manager get the very best out of them and enable any given team to win football matches?
Varane cost 34 million. Martinez cost 48 million. Sancho cost 73 million. Here's the cross. Pelastri can't get hold of it. He actually came through the ranks. He cost nothing just to finish that. Pelastri came through the ranks in the interest of balance. It's going to be a goal kick which Vicario is going to take. They've just not created much, Bradley, really. As I said, that Anthony effort off the post and then the Casemiro header saved by Vicario. Since then, it's been quite ordinary from Erik ten Hag's side. Spurs have it inside their own half of the field. We've now played for 5 minutes of the 9, so 4 more to go. It's Tottenham 2, Manchester United 0. And Christian Romero, who, if you remember in the first half, did seem to stick his hand out inside the box. This goes back to Vicario under a little bit of pressure. Clears downfield. Target, well, his son, but Varane gets there first. And then Shaw finds Sancho. That was one of the big talking points of the first half, when it was still 0-0. Shaw takes it past Basuma and races forward to the edge of the box. Offloads to Martial. Has a sight of goal. Lifts it over the top. This takes a deflection. It's a corner. Manchester United's 6th corner of the game.
Casemiro was advanced.
Beg your pardon, Casemiro.
Was that Perisic or Ben Davies even that come across? Not too many of the London-based Manchester United travelling supporters left inside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They look rather disgruntled on what their side have offered in this second half in this game.
Here's the corner. It's not cleared. Headed away by Solomon. And Son hacks it clear. They brought everyone back, Spurs. They want this clean sheet. No question. Here's Eriksson's delivery and headed. Oh, flicked over again. The flag was up, wouldn't have counted. Sensational save by Vicario. Varane's header, point-blank range. Brilliant reflexes from the new Tottenham goalkeeper.
Well, he'll gain a lot of confidence from some of the key moments as he's been involved. GK Vicario.
That is in. And it's how on
perhaps Varane has headed it at a height for the 6-foot-plus Tottenham goalie to get a hand on it, and maybe it should have been down into the corner, but Still a fine save.
7 minutes of stoppage time played. 2 more to go. Tottenham 2, Manchester United 0 here on BBC Radio London. The Women's World Cup final, England-Spain, live on the home of London football from 5 to 11 tomorrow. West Ham against Chelsea, a London derby with real teeth. Pochettino against Moyes. Our coverage on digital radio starts at 4, and then from 6 on Monday at Selhurst Park, Aaron Paul has all the fun of the fair with Crystal Palace against Arsenal. Here's Palestri. Spurs have given it away. Oh, and then they won it back. Bissouma's... Oh, no, it's a foul. Bissouma on Palestri just outside the D.
Well, he scampered around the youngsters and he's come on. A bit sloppy from Højbjerg. Played the ball backwards. Unnecessary. There was a forward option on. They drove towards the heart of the Tottenham defence, and as Bissouma worked hard to recover late on in this one, he's bumped the full-back, and this is in excellent territory, isn't it, for Bruno Fernandes?
That clean sheet, still an objective for Tottenham, but Fernandes is lining this up. It's fractionally to the left. We've almost played the 9 minutes. Spurs are going to win this game, you would have thought, but are they going to get that clean sheet? Fernandes steps away. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-man wall, and he's lifted it over the top. Absolutely delighted roar as it sails over the top. Vicario's punching the air already. He's very happy with his evening's work, and so he should be. The clock ticks up to 99 minutes on the big screen away to our right.
I think we're done, Nick.
Michael Oliver's going to blow.
And fine win.
Vicario asking for more.
A claim for these Tottenham players tonight. Brilliant, well done.
He's conducting the crowd. And why not? He's played his part. Michael Oliver blows. Tottenham Hotspur have their first victory under Ange Postecoglou. And it has come against Manchester United of all teams. Sarr with the first goal, an own goal from Lisandro Martinez extending the advantage. It is Sarr who will get the headlines because he was brought into the side today by Ange Postecoglou, and he's finished a rasping volley with his left foot from Kulusevski's cross. Martinez with the own goal that sealed the victory. But what a moment. What a special result for Spurs this is. What a big result for Ange Postecoglou, who, in the way, that kind of avuncular way he does, just kind of mooches onto the field, arms thrust deep in his pockets. He must be feeling it though, Bradley. What a way to open your accounts at home. We said it at the start of the game. It doesn't matter when you play Manchester United at home. It's one of the key fixtures of the season if you're going to be successful. Spurs have passed this first real test.
And I think what he's managed to do, and we're only just starting out here, because this is a rebuild, and this is going to take time, is you have a manager in his measured words, Nick. He's telling these players, I do know how to win. If you believe me, we might be able to go somewhere. That was a brilliant second-half performance. Maddison, I think, was class. He was the fulcrum of that. Tottenham had wonderful energy. It might have been different on key decisions that might have gone in the favour of the visitors. Having said that, I think for Tottenham's efforts, they were worthy winners tonight. And it's a brilliant home debut for Ange Postecoglou's side and the players and the fans. 3 precious Premier League points.
Goodness gracious me. The goals then, as I said, from Pape Sarr in the own goal, from Lisandro Martinez. Loads happened. Spurs hit the bar and the post in the first half. Manchester United thought they should have had a penalty when it struck Romero's arm. Anthony hit the post just moments after Tottenham had taken the lead. But in the end, it is Spurs who emerge victorious. Manchester United's first ever defeat on this ground. And Ange Ball is off to a winning start at home. These Spurs fans are going to wander off down the Tottenham High Road, loving every single minute of this. Handball rolls down to Bournemouth on Saturday lunchtime. Goodness only knows how that'll go. But remarkably, here in this first home game for the new Spurs, the post-Harry Kane Spurs, it's a kind of a Harry Kane scoreline, I have to tell you. It's finished Tottenham 2, Manchester United 0. The Spurs players are celebrating hard with the South Stand. You can't blame them. Don't forget, tomorrow the World Cup final at 5 to 11, and West Ham against Chelsea from 4 o'clock, and then at Sellers Park live with Aaron Paul Monday evening from 6. Crystal Palace against Arsenal. That'll be. They're all going to be decent. All three of them, absolute crackers, and you can only hear those three games, I think, live here on the home of London football. Just remember that. Here's Gary Crowley. Good night from Bradley and me at Spurs.
News, information, and a place to talk.